All right. So we're going to get into the call for tonight. I made this kind of like an all tribe call because I wanted to be able to spend some time with you all on this last new moon of this year. And also because there's just so much happening right now. I really wanted for us to tune into some of the divine assignments and really be able to take full advantage of this new moon as we do enter into a new calendar year. I'm going to start by saying, I really don't celebrate the New Year's as a new year. You know what I mean? However, it is a lot of energy in the Western world centered around the new year, being the Gregorian calendar. So the first thing I want to challenge us to do, well, I won't challenge us to do it, but I just want to mention it. I mentioned it one time before. Since we are looking at pretty much everything in our lives and challenging ourselves to look at it from a fifth dimensional standpoint, which is a more spiritual, more looking at everything from a deeper perspective, I'd love for us to continue to challenge ourselves to center our focus on time in a more intentional way. Instead of just going off of the Gregorian calendar just for face value, look at your time in accordance to something that's a little bit more natural, a little bit more meaningful. And so, yes, we're saying this is the end of the year, but there's a lot going on astrologically. There's also a lot of various traditions that are happening around the world that are quite meaningful. There are rituals happening around the world right now in this time period during this start of the winter and hibernation mode. Like this is a prime time for a lot of spiritual work, a lot of prayer work. And so explore, that's really what I want to say to you. Like explore the various calendars. The Gregorian calendar does not really have a lot of spiritual dates, if you will, set aside dates for specific things. It's more like holidays, and they're more so commercialized. But you have things like the Islamic calendar, the Hebrew calendar, the Gnostic calendar, the Chinese calendar. You have so many different calendars. So I want to first challenge you to, as we go into this new year, explore some various calendars and see if you see a calendar that resonate with you. And as you are moving through this Gregorian calendar for 2025, incorporate some of the other things, in alignment. Some dates that you will find are holidays on a Gregorian calendar. You'll be surprised what rituals or feasts or traditions are set around those times in other cultures. And I have a deck of cards that I use sometimes, and I love it because it introduces a lot of cultures in that deck, and you can learn a lot about different celebrations and ceremonies and all of this from that deck. But I'm just saying you can let us explore. So even if it's just a simple Google search on, various spiritual calendars or religious calendars or significant dates in the year for fasting, significant ceremonies around the world, just explore them and see if there's any that resonate with you, and keep those dates during this 2025 year and see how powerful it will be for you. I know I definitely haven't been inspired to do a true Lent during Lent this year. I tend to gravitate to doing Ramadan, but I'm gonna hone in on the Gnostic calendar and the Orthodox Christian calendar, and then the Eastern Orthodox Christian calendar as well have some significant dates. And just tuning in, because those dates are set for a reason. It's usually set around a season and the various energy or a moon cycle. And so, of course, It has certain significance to it. But I think, you know, when I hear people say, you know, the Western world don't really have a culture, the Western world has a culture. It is laced with capitalism and, you know, kind of like surface level things. But trust and believe, that calendar is set around significant calendars that have been adopted and adapted for this environment or society. But there are some roots that you may not know to certain dates that you hear. I mean, we've already started to do it when it comes to like learning more about Friday the 13th, the history of it. You may learn that it's really about divine feminine, and it's a very prosperous time. And, you know, there were certain rituals and prayers and ceremonies that happened on Friday the 13th. A lot of people know about the original or indigenous uh, celebration of what we call Halloween, you know, but we have learned, you know, because of the internet and Google, the World Wide Web, we have learned the actual significance of that date. But there's some significance around Labor Day. There's some significance around 4th of July. You can look at it totally differently, you know, because it is the birth of this nation. You know what I mean? So that's that. I wanted to say that. So heard, is that assignment heard? Is that challenge accepted? Put accepted in the chat room if you accept that challenge. Put accepted in the chat room if you accept that challenge. And if you do accept that challenge and you, okay, beautiful. If you do accept the challenge and you find some things, share them with us. Share them with us. You know what I mean? Let us know what you found and what you're going to be doing throughout this year. Maybe we can stand in solidarity with you, or you will introduce something to us that we can, you know, observe as a group, as a whole, because that's, of course, you know, there's power in numbers. All right, but let's get into what we about to get into, okay? Because we have a good week. Let's see how long we got, like a week and a half. Not even, what, I'm tripping. No, we ain't got no week and a half at all. We ain't got no week and a half. We have shoot, let's just say a week, okay? To be, to really get ourselves together. Okay, no, real talk though. As we move into, okay, this new moon cycle, the new moon is on Monday. So the new moon cycle is pretty much now until next Friday. So we do have like a full week to really tune into this energy, vibe on the divine assignments that I'll be talking about tonight. But of course, y'all know, I'm not just saying, okay, do this for 7 days and throw it out. I'm saying during this time, the energy is potent. So go ahead and utilize this energy to put some on the mind and the heart. But of course, continue the work, you know, as you continue to evolve in life, right? Take these things, take note of these things, these various assignments, and they could be, you know, good for you to think about and do at other times, you know, or ongoing. Some of these things you may feel like, I'm going to make this like a constant thing that I do when I do my journaling or when I do my reflection. We'll see. All right, so I have a few notes here. The first thing I'm gonna jump into is it's time to take a look. It's not like we're not always looking, right? It's time to truly take a look. And hear me out. You know, I say this around a full moon oftentimes, but this is a new moon. And what is very clear is that we all are being shown kind of like a vision, or we're all being given like these divine inspiration that can also be showing up as wants or desires. But it is essential for us to make room. It is essential for us to make room. Some of the things that, you know, you've been really thinking about or you've been really wanting, it cannot evolve or unfold in your life because you don't have the room. You don't have the room. So it's really time for us to really look at our life and see and ask the following questions. What am I letting go? What do I need to let go? What am I letting go? Write that down. What am I letting go? What am I letting go? What feels stagnant in my life? Where is there like stagnation in my life? What am I letting go? Where's there stagnation in my life? Like you may feel comfortable with it, but not really. You really just ignoring that feeling of like, I just want more. I just want different. I just want better. You're really kind of ignoring it because you don't feel in control around it. It's not a lot that you can really do about it in this physical world. So you're ignoring it. But let me remind you at this moment, we are alchemists. And sometimes we're being very lazy with our mental. We're being very lazy with our prayers and our ritual work. We're being lazy with it. And oftentimes that's all that's really needed is you to really focus in on your prayers, focus in on your spiritual work, addressing it from your spiritual body. That's really what we need. But we are so used to addressing life from our physical body that if we can't physically do something about it, even though everything in us wants something different, wants something more, wants something to change, we'll just kind of go with the flow and keep ignoring it. Who am I talking to? I'm talking to somebody. We'll just be like, oh man, people are how they are, things are what they are. I'm just leave it alone. But low key, it's kind of stressing you out. It's really not you like that. If you were to really visualize your best life or your best self or your highest self, that would not be a part. It will be different. Am I talking to anybody? So off the bat, this new moon in Capricorn with a lot of different influences and aspects that's happening is really pointing to us, hey, listen, there's some wonderful things on the horizon that will happen. But what will happen is, as it happens, it's like if you do a beautiful home, if you're building on a foundation that is not firm, no matter how beautiful the siding is, the bricks, the this, the that, it's just gonna all keep on crumbling. How many of us have experienced that in our lifetimes? We go so far, we build so much, we evolve in certain areas, but it's just like, I keep having these tumbles. I keep having these tumbles. Why is it that it's like you climbing up the ladder, you got your stride and you keep missing a rung. You keep missing one of the steps and you fall down a few steps because you have not, one, let go of things that you need to let go of. Two, you have not activated God like it's calling you to do. Remember, we are the activators of God energy. That's what our prayers do. That's what our affirmations do. That's what our visualization do. That's what our Reiki does. That's what our energy shifting and healing and telepathy and all these different things do. We're in the fifth dimensional plane, y'all, fifth dimensional living. So one of our first challenges is to let go of these things we keep holding on to. And then also remember who we are as spiritual beings and stop ignoring those spaces in our lives that has that stagnation and really address it from our spiritual body. Amen. Anybody receive that lesson? Is Shannon the only one that received that lesson? Are we up for that assignment? Ask yourself, what am I letting go? Where's the stagnation in my life? Is there any? Is there anything I'm ignoring? I'm just kind of putting it in that space where I just be like, well, it is what it is. And I kind of leave it alone. Is there any area like that I need to get a little bit more brazenly bold and God around? I need to get into my alchemist bag, get into my prayer bag. Amen. Here's another question. Write this down. What limits you? What limits, let me read, hold on, I'm looking at my notes. Where I put what limits us more at the walls. What limits you more? What is limiting you more? What is limiting you more? The walls you've built or the stories you keep telling yourself? Let me run that back. What is limiting you more? The walls you've built so that you can protect yourself, so that won't nobody try you, so that you won't fail, so that you won't get hurt, so that you won't whatever. What limits you more, the walls you've built or the stories you keep telling yourself? That's the right answer, Sha. Ding, 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 ding. That's the right answer. So that question is inspiring us to look at, assess, what walls have you built and what stories are you telling that are limiting you? What walls have you built and what stories are you telling that are limiting you? I can tell you a huge wall that many are breaking through right now is racism. The wall of racism. A huge wall that people are breaking through right now is this wall of standards of wealth, depending on credit scores and dollar amounts in banks. That's a wall. That's a wall that have been built. And some of it you didn't build, but because it was a wall built around you, a wall has been built in your mind when it comes to those things, because you really bought into the expectations and standards. You bought into it. And so there are risks or leaps or jumps or forward movements that you're not making because you have bought into the fact that you don't have enough money, you don't have enough credit, you don't have enough intelligence, you don't have enough degrees, you don't have this and you don't have that. Those are walls and stories you tell yourself. Check in on them walls. Allow those walls of Jericho to fall down. And when it comes to these stories, it's time for retelling the story. I want to read this note. Another one. Write this down. Are there any areas you feel you need to think bigger or broaden your mental horizon around? Are you limiting yourself by your internal narratives? Let me run that back. Are there any areas you feel you need to think bigger or broaden your mental horizon around? Are you limiting yourself by your internal narratives? If so, how can you retell that story? That's big for some of us, if not all. That's big. Are there any areas you feel you need to think bigger? Think bigger. I don't like the word bigger, but a lot of people use it. What's a better word? Help me out. I really don't like think bigger. It's not even about the size of your thinking, but I like that whole, broaden your mental horizon. Expansive. Yes, thank you. Are there any areas you feel you need to think more expansive? Think more expansive. Because of a lot of times because of our rearing, because of our education or lack of education, because of our experiences, whatever it may be, we end up not thinking expansively. It's like, think at it, broaden the horizons of your mind. When you think about health, when you think about your age, when you think about your life, when you think about your career, when you think about your vision, like expansive. Ask yourself, what do I really want? There are no limitations. Yes. Are there any areas you feel you need to open your mind to? When it comes to friendship, when it comes to relationships. This new moon in Capricorn makes it appropriate for all of those questions. Okay. I'm recording this so you can run this back, but I hope you're writing this down. Moving on, speaking of expansiveness or expansion of the mind. This new moon is a great time to really explore your imagination. So this is what I really want us to do. On one of these days during this new moon period, really sit with yourself. Chill out, whatever you need to do to bring the heart rate down, to bring the breath down, slow the breath down, get those brain waves in a more settled state and just relax, right? Whatever it is that you need to do that. And let your imagination just really expand in all areas of your life. Let it expand. Take a look in each area. It's time to take a look. Your health, your finances, the area you've been ignoring, that part you've been ignoring, relationships, your personal growth and development. Let your imagination really run. Do maybe 2 of those per day until this new moon is over. Here are the areas: health, finances, areas of stagnation, the areas you've been ignoring, your relationships, your personal growth and development. Allow yourself to really imagine those things in detail. Really look. Like Neville Goddard says, put yourself in that ideal place in all of those areas I just named. When you think about health, don't just think about those areas that you want to improve, or oh, I wish I could lose weight. I wish I could have better skin. I wish I could have better eating habits. No, not just those. See yourself healthy, whole, and well. See it. What are you doing? What does it look like? Who's around you? What does your stride look like? How do you walk? How do you talk? How do you feel? What does your morning look like? What does your evening look like? What type of food are you eating? What type of clothes are you wearing? What type of places are you going to? What type of people are you hanging around? Detail. That's what I mean by exploring your imagination. We get it? Finances. How do you feel about your finances? What type of money moves are you making? What is your finances affording you? How easily does the money flow in? How does it flow in? Does it flow in checks? Does it flow in resources? Does it flow in surprised deposits in the bank? How does it flow in? Does it flow in as a portfolio of investments? Does it flow in as you don't never need it, but if you want it, you could get it? How does the finances flow in? areas of stagnation, whatever that area is. How does it look when it's not stagnant? What's going on? Explore your imagination. And that's really all the notes I have for this evening. I wanted to give room for questions if you have them, but this is really, in summary, I was thinking like, man, this is a powerful and blessed new moon. We literally right at the end of the year, we're going into a new year. It's the second new moon of this month. It's got this Capricorn energy. You got Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, so you got this land and water type energy. So we have the capacity to be in full control of our feelings as well as control of what's going on in our lives. We have that capacity. It just all depends on how you are governing and also allowing yourself to work with yourself. That's what it really depends on. How much focus are you giving this? Or are you just kind of like, and that's cool too, because life is gonna life. That's what it's gonna do. You know what I mean? Life is gonna life. But we already know what intentionality does for us. So that's really, like I said, that's what I have for this new moon. We're talking about trying to really break away from the old so you can really flow into the new. I really want to emphasize subtly, some things keep drawing us back to the old way of thinking, the old way of handling it. Some things we're holding on to because it's comfortable, and it's not really comfortable, but it's like our comfort zone kind of thing, but it's really not comfortable anymore. But we just keep ignoring it because we don't really know, or we're afraid, or we don't know how to approach it. It's time for us to really address those things in our lives, truly. So a gemstone that can really help us with that, green aventurine, black obsidian, those two are excellent. We're working with old habits, breaking old habits. That black obsidian is going to really help with the emotional body, while the green aventurine really assist in the physical, like in the physical realm, the emotional and the physical realm. That black obsidian is going to really stir up them things that we've been ignoring so that we can uproot them and really allow them to heal. While that green aventurine is going to help you break habits, going to help you to stop trying to go back to the old ways of doing things. So carrying those two or working with those two will be wonderful. All right. Same way with the candle colors, green candles, black candles. Those would be really good for this new moon. Yeah. I have a question, says, my question is, what if you are doing something that someone else see that you're doing, but you don't see or understand the other person's perspectives? You asking Queen Yin. I don't know, when it comes to other people's perspective, and them keep sharing their perspective with me, unless they're my spiritual guru or they're my sheikh, my teacher, somebody who I'm really wanting to learn from or follow. Yeah. Other people's perspective don't really bother me like that. But you talking to someone who, I pretty much bought this land on my own. I'm an empty nester. You know what I mean? I have relationships, but I'm a loner in a sense. And so I don't have a lot of attachments. And so I don't, I don't have a lot of situations where anybody's gonna really share their perspective with me. Now I do have people who I respect, honor, and see as my teacher, my guide, my counsels. Those people, I listen to them, and I bow. Like I submit. I submit. But that's choices you have to make, you know what I mean? On your journey, you know. Cause you know, when you're talking about when you're talking about doing your own personal work and involving other people's perspectives, I'm not against it, But I would definitely say be intentional with who those people are. And if you invite someone in on that, then be in a submission mode, be in a surrender mode, period. If you can't be in surrender mode to whoever that is you're inviting to give their perspectives and be a part of your personal development journey, then they shouldn't be a part of it, you know? I only share that journey with people who I'm willing to surrender and submit to whatever what they're telling me, and try to listen and, and be a student, essentially. Yeah, I think we have not necessarily been educated on how to navigate relationships, friendships, relationships between teacher student, relationship between spouses and, spouse and spouse, relationship between mother and daughter, mother and son, relationship between son and father. We haven't really been educated on what that really is supposed to be like. And so it's really risky when you allow people in to give their perspective in your own personal development, because people are not really like, has that person seen your chart? Has that person, is that person like super grounded? You know what I mean? Is that person like, it's just like, I wouldn't even trust a mother giving a daughter advice always, unless that mother is like grounded and respectful of that daughter's journey. Meaning that mother understands that that daughter has her own journey. And if mama is coming with her perspective, the only way I can say it can be beneficial is if mama is coming from a universal place, not from a place of, what somebody should be or standards and all this kind of stuff. It's like, unless you come in with some real universal principles to me, or real principles of truth and God or something like that, I can't really go off of what your perspective is. What I can do, especially if I don't think you're just a terrible person, or you're not just all the way, ignorant, or you do have some level of value or something, the best thing I can do is hear you out and take it to God in prayer. That's the best thing I can do. It's like, hear it out, take it into my reflection time, take it into my room, and um, if it's beneficial, it'll show itself to be. And so, that's kind of when you go to the take it or leave it kind of thing. Yeah, I would definitely say that. So without having a lot of context, I know that's a long answer, but that's what I would say. You just got to be careful. Thank you. I have been keeping my green aventurine close. Beautiful. And you can actually work with black obsidian and green aventurine together too. That's one of those combinations you can work with together. I woke up one day and realized I liked or disliked things because I assimilated the taste of others. That's real talk. I've like wavered on faith on things because of other people's wavering in faith. Me trusting in, especially people who I trust, So it really taught me I gotta, I value some other people. I won't say I just value other people's opinion. I value some people, they've shown to be valuable, but yeah, I have to be able to be firm within myself. So I would say that may be an indicator that you have to work on being grounded within your own self, addressing any kind of insecurities you may have. Asking yourself, what do I value? What are my beliefs? What do I feel? Like you really have to come up with your own beliefs and what you value, because other people value different things. Other people believe different things. Other people, like someone could truly feel like whatever it is righteous for you is not righteous for them. I got people who truly feel that Queen Yin is a sacrilegious witch root worker. They truly believe it. You know what I'm saying? What can I do with that? You know what I mean? And they have their reasons, and they could feel justified, very much so. They could feel very justified and they would draw to them people who would feel the same way. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's why you just got to be real rooted within yourself. Because I can't let that bother me. At a certain time in my life, I would have let that bother me, like, oh, let me, nah, I don't let it bother me now because I know the truth within myself. I know it's not me. Now, am I magical? A little bit. I'm God. I'm God's child. I'm a reflection of God. God is like more than magical. You know what I'm saying? So, some people, they have a lot of perspectives. I can't tell you like, oh my goodness. People come and they tell me what I should and shouldn't do, what I could and can't do, what I should do when it comes to business, what I should do when it comes to ministry, what I should do when it comes to this, what I could do, gotta be grounded within yourself. Gotta be grounded within yourself. And I want to clarify, because I know I'm saying take it to God. I want to be clear about what that really means. Take it to God. Okay, let's get very clear about that. Take it to God. You can simply say, may anything that I need to see about myself, may it be revealed to me clearly. You can throw in swiftly if you need to. May my heart be pure. May my deeds be in alignment with righteousness, that which is right for me, which is in accordance to the will of God within me. These are things like this is taking it to God, like be genuine in your prayer. You cannot try to figure out if you're right or wrong or somebody's right about you. You can't do that. You have to really just put it truly, just speak it into existence, that clarity. If you don't feel clear, if you really feel convicted. I have been in a place in my life, I have it in my charts, impressionable. Somewhere in my charts, it says something like, be careful because you could be impressionable. And it's so true. If I saw you as somebody who may be smarter than me, more accomplished than me, stronger than me, more confident than me, older than me, elder, more educated than me, whatever, if I was going to listen to you. If I saw that you had something that I wanted, if I saw that you were somebody who I won't say I would want to be like, if I saw, I would easily listen to you and take on, especially if I found a level of respecting you just from what I had to learn. No, ma'am. What God got for you is for you. Righteousness means what's right for you. So you need to tune into yourself, sis. You got to tune into spirit. You got to tune into your own vision, your own dreams, your own self-work. And it has to be revealed to you through you. It has to be revealed to you through your own reflection. And I'll definitely say, if you're not one that's doing regular, quiet reflections, not hurry up and do 15 minutes of meditation so I can get into the day. Regular sit down, journal, breath work, whatever it is that you need to do your own self-reflection. And not from a critical standpoint, I need to do this, I need to do better with this, no. One of the first questions you need to ask yourself, what brings me peace? What makes me feel powerful? What brings me joy? That should be constant, a constant self-reflection question. What brings me peace? What does peace look like to me? What does powerful feel like and look like to me? And what does joy look like and what brings it in my life? Once you have those answers, you need to see what and who and where ain't lining up. And you need to figure out how you gonna detach from them or that so that it's not disrupting your peace. And detachment don't mean you have to physically detach. It's really a mental thing. It's really deciding, how they're going to impact your life. And then you need to constantly ask your questions like the questions I gave tonight, inquiring through yourself. If you got somebody who keep on, you just, you this, you that, whatever, and it's some kind of like, I don't know, some kind of critique, on or some kind of judgment, and you feel like you need, like, they're right, or you have to kind of judge. You have to judge that for yourself. I can't really tell you. I can't really tell you. That's something you got to go within yourself. Um, and if you do find that, they're right, or it's a valuable critique or input or whatever, then surrender to it. And if it don't feel right surrendering to it, it may not be right. Sometimes we try to surrender to other people's perspectives and their whatever, critique of us, and it's not even really for us like that. Because if it was, we could easily surrender to it. So I made that a super long answer, but maybe it was for more than just you. When we make it easy for others, we make it hard for ourselves. That's true. Mariama says that I woke up one day and realized I like and dislike things because I assimilated to other people's tastes. It says, when we make it for easy for others, we make it hard for ourselves. It's so real. Moving in silence and cultivating my own dreams. That's key. Key. That's key. I'm talking about silence. If you do hear it or see it, it's a whisper. You might have a gist of what I got going on. Real talk. Real talk. Because it never fails. Every time never fails. Only time, and you got to be, and if you feel like sharing, say you got valuable people in your life who are like-minded, who are good people, be intentional about how you share, what you say, share, how you say it. How you say it. Be careful with that. It's nothing wrong with you sharing with true friends in God, true equally yoked people in your life. Like, it's nothing wrong with that, but be careful how you share. I mean, if they're true like that, they're not gonna let you just be sharing it in no any kind of way. Anyway, period. They're not about to let you share it that way. Well, all right, I'm gonna let y'all go. How long we been holding? I ain't mean to hold y'all too long. I pray that the message was received. Happy new moon. We're already in the new moon period. We will be convening Monday evening, same time, 7 p.m. Eastern time for the meditation. So I hope you're able to tune in. Give thanks. Absolutely give thanks. All right. So enjoy your weekend. And I'll see you all on the new moon on Monday. All right. I'll send that link in the chat and or the email for you all to have it. All right. Peace and love, y'all.